Hey, so seeing as my last video did particularly well, I think Sonic's my thing, I think with a Sonic tuber, and I'm changing my profile picture to like fucking Metal Sonic, like flowers on his head, and like fucking okay, no, I'm not a Sonic channel, but there will be Sonic videos all the time, because I'm a huge Sonic fan, and I love Sonic, but I'm not a Sonic channel. Shut the fuck up. I'm just gonna happen to have like maybe 3 videos in a row that are all about Sonic, but that's nonetheless. If you even look at my channel for a second, you can see that all of my stuff is kind of all over the place. I have some I got a music video, I have gaming, I have half commentary, half gaming, stream highlights. I don't even know what the life hacks video goes under, but my point is I have a lot of different types of videos, and so I really enjoyed the last one. So here we are again with more of that. So I guess I don't know what to call these types of videos. It's Sonic stuff, Sonic commentary, explanations, deep dives. If you've been a Sonic fan for even just a little bit, you've probably realized that there's a bit of an ongoing story. Not really building towards anything, but all the game stories are connected. Now, you could pick up any Sonic title and play it completely disconnected without knowing any of the previous game stories or other ones from the future, and you'll be fine. Now, this is a little complicated because some games have been rebooted, and then did not follow that reboot because it sucked. But then some elements from that reboot would get reused in other games, or even come straight from the game, but that game would still never happen in the main universe, and it's very, very complicated. Being a longtime Sonic fan myself, there are no 2 words that scare me more than Sonic lore. Because you could be talking about anything. The movies, 2 different timelines in the movies right there. Boom. The shows, 4 different timelines. The comics don't even get me started. But arguably the easiest to comprehend is the shows. Each show's different from each other, and you can just watch on its episodic. It's really easy. But the games are the ones I've kept up with the most, probably. So today, I thought I'd make a video and explain as much as the lore as I can without wanting to give up. I hope this video ends up coming out at all. Okay, to keep a complete timeline, I am going to draw out my timeline in Microsoft Paint. The start of all Sonic lore comes from, of course, the original Sonic the Hedgehog. Now, this game's story is pretty simple. You run, break robot, beat level, get emeralds, beat guy, win. And then there's a bad ending and there's a good ending. But usually, the good ending is canon. Okay, using our handy dandy timeline, directly after Sonic 1, we got Sonic 2, baby. Look at that. This is top of the notch technology I'm using for this video. Okay, Sonic 2 story. Let's discuss it. It's the same, except this time Tails is there. How does Tails get there? I've never played Sonic Origins, but there's like cutscenes explaining stuff. Tails is getting picked on from some kids. Sonic saves him. Everyone cheers, yippee! And they become best friends. And so the story of this game is run, break robot, collect emerald, beat guy, win. Yep. Okay, Sonic City. This is where the story starts to get story. Now, Sonic City actually has in the game like little cutscenes, like little animated cutscenes, or not cutscenes, it's openings and endings that show what happened. Basically, in the opening, what happens is Dr. Robotnik takes over the little planet. He steals it, he chains it over Never Lake, which is a place where there's said to be special stones that are capable of time travel, which, are the time stones. So Dr. Robotnik, he chains it down and starts converting the world into his own little personal planet, I guess. He wants it for himself. It's a little planet. He can walk all over it because it's little, but he's not little. And Sonic sees this and he's like, What the fuck? No. What the fuck was... No, what do you mean you want to fucking... what? And so he goes and stops him. Mainly to stop him, because if he gets the time stones and he's able to manipulate time, because that's what they do. And, you know, I mean, also, I'll use this time as a mini review for Sonic City, by the way. It's great. Great game. Just play Sonic City. I also realized that eventually, after the Sonic City recording, I completely forgot to mention that this is where Amy and Metal Sonic get introduced. Okay, Sonic 3. Here we go. So, let's start with Knuckles' story, because it kind of goes in order that way. Basically, Eggman tricks him into believing Sonic is the bad guy. And he's like, yes, Sonic plans to do this and this. You're in danger, you're in danger. And so he helps Eggman. And so while you play as Sonic, basically Knuckles punches you and takes the Chaos Emeralds from you. And so now you're like, well, I gotta stop this Knuckles guy. And then suddenly it's like, oh, Eggman's here too. And there's Badniks, and it's the same whole thing, except now there's a Master Emerald too, which was not in the previous games. And Dr. Eggman's taking the Master Emerald to help power his Death Egg. In fact, it's probably the most powerful artifact in the universe. Eventually you have a big face-off with Knuckles, and then, uh-oh, Dr. Eggman betrays Knuckles and takes the Master Emerald for himself. Who could have guessed? Now Knuckles has, like, you know, he's been tased, and he's like, Sonic, help, follow me. And then Knuckles helps Sonic, and then that's when they become friends. That's when Knuckles becomes a protagonist. Anyway, Sonic defeats Dr. Eggman, and everything's like, but then, we're in space now, and Sonic flies through space and defeats the Death Egg robot once and for all. Pretty simple. The next game of the franchise is Sonic's next big major game. Okay, this one's a bit of a doozy, but you know, that's why I have the Wikipedia here to help me. Okay, so the game suddenly has humans in it now. By the way, I didn't mention it, the planet where Sonic is from is called Mobius, and that's where all the little animals are from. But for some reason Sonic's on Earth or something, and lives among humans. Why is there... Okay. Let's take a moment. Why are there two different planets? Can they travel between planets? Well, with a quick Google search that I'm going to do right now. This is coming from the Sonic comic lore explaining this. Here we go. And a lot of these words will not make sense. And you know what? I'm not going to explain them. You'll just have to take it as it is. Humans are the ancestors of overlanders and the former dominant species of the planet Mobius. Well, it was still known as Earth. The vast majority of the population was either wiped out or dramatically mutated during the Zorda's gene bomb attack on the planet. Though apparently a group of humans actually did survive the attack and built a society, and that society became Station Square, aka the isolated society where Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2 takes place. But Sonic Unleashed to go over the world and there's humans everywhere. I don't know! The game's story begins with Dr. Robotnik, whose new name has been changed to Eggman. Cool, awesome. He seeks a new way to defeat Sonic. So, during his research, he discovers an entity called Chaos, which is this being of water and brain. And every time he collects a Chaos Emerald, he gets stronger, and so that's what he does. He once protected the Chow that lived around the Shrine of the Master Emerald, and he was pretty much the guardian of the Master Emerald. Now there's a echidna named Tikal, who would use her powers to make sure that no one misused the Master Emerald and protect it from anyone trying to. But eventually, her tribe of echidnas wanted to steal the power of the Master Emerald for themselves, which would break the harmony they had with the Chow. Chaos, using the Emerald's power, it transformed himself into a monstrous beast and wiped them all out. Tikal, being the last one remaining, would use the remaining of her power to seal Chaos and herself within the Master Emerald. And then with the rest of her power, she would then separate Angel Island from the rest of the world and have it float above. Now, Sonic Adventure has a lot of different character plots. We're not really going to get into it. I think I'm just going to focus on the main overall story because that's what's most important to the overall story of Sonic, I suppose. But essentially, Sonic runs into Chaos. Chaos kind of beats the shit out of him. I will, and then he's like, what is this? The thing, what is this thing? Blah, blah, blah. And each character goes through a story with Chaos Emeralds involved that eventually do get taken by Chaos. All these stories eventually come together for the last story when Chaos gets all of the Chaos Emeralds and becomes perfect Chaos, an undefeatable beast. Sonic, not knowing what to do, he's like, man, if only I had all 7 Chaos Emeralds right now. And then all his friends had all 7 Chaos Emeralds. Sonic, using the power of Super Sonic, then defeats Perfect Chaos. Perfect Chaos reverts back to normal Chaos and sees that the Chao who he would protect and, you know, it's his duty to protect are happy now inside of Station Square. And they're living peacefully. So Tikal takes Chaos somewhere to live peacefully. And then the game ends with Sonic pursuing a fleeing Robotnik. Okay, Sonic Adventure 2, I've gotten to the point where the wiki thing, the wiki is now multiple paragraphs. Okay, so basically, so we're back, Station Square, back with humans. Cool, awesome. But Dr. Eggman has found out that his grandfather, Gerald Robotnik, was creating a being called the Ultimate Life Form that he named Shadow. And okay, so great, cool. So Eggman releases the Shadow, and Shadow agrees to help him conquer the world because, oh, he's the ancestor of this man I respected so greatly. And they rendezvous at the abandoned space colony Ark in space, because that was always there, and you're an idiot if you didn't know that. So anyway, they need to collect Chaos Emeralds because the Chaos Emeralds will help them get more power. Also, now that Shadow's here, he could do this now.
Chaos Control!
And this. Yeah, so he can just harness the power of the Chaos Emeralds without going super. Well, he can't go super, but he can do things that aren't super, like shooting spears or like teleporting. Okay, but what's up with Shadow? So why does Shadow think why Shadow evil? So Shadow fulfilled a promise to a girl, Maria, and he interpreted it as one of revenge. But what actually she means, he wanted him to help humanity is what she wanted him to do. So he's like, oh, I should be good now. Okay, so who's Maria? Well, Maria was the granddaughter of Gerald Robotnik and cousin of Ivo Robotnik, aka Eggman. And then Shadow and Maria formed a very strong bond. They lived together on the Space Colony Ark. Gun, the Guardian Units of Nations, deemed Shadow a threat, so they went to go and capture him. But Shadow tried to protect Maria, and because of him trying to protect Maria, the gun killed Maria. Maria's death traumatized Shadow, who vowed to keep his promise to her that he would always protect the world from danger, which the danger he thought was the Earth, so like revenge, but the danger just to protect the world, you know? Anyway, the government got in there, they got Shadow, and they placed him in suspended animation. Anyway, back to the actual story. So, Dr. Eggman brings him back, and then Shadow meets up with Sonic. And now, Shadow has been running around and, like, doing really bad stuff, but then Gun mistakes Sonic as Shadow because they can't fucking see or something. And so now Sonic's in trouble, and he's trying to get out of here. But then he gets arrested. So then Tails comes over and saves him with Amy. So Eggman gets enough power to use the Space Colony Ark to blow up the fucking moon in half. The moon gets blown up. Okay, cool. Glad we're on the same page. Which, by the way, blowing up the moon was actually a threat because he was showing them what he could do if to the Earth if they did not listen. And then Shadow is collecting Chaos Emeralds. So is Sonic. They fight once or twice, but that's this whole thing. And then they all end up in the Space Colony Ark. Okay, so Tails then on the Ark creates a counterfeit Chaos Emerald to help destroy the Eclipse Cannon so it doesn't, you know, blow up the fucking Earth. And that's the reason they go to the whole Ark to begin with, by the way. I said that was a little out of order, but fucking whatever, dude. It's fucking Sonic lore. Anyway, Sonic is about to use it, but then Eggman's like, oh, I'll kill Tails and Amy. I have them right here. So he comes back to rescue them. Then Sonic tries to trick Eggman with the fake emerald, but Eggman sees through the plan and just puts him in an escape pod rigged with explosives and fucking sends him to space. Now, at this point, everyone thinks Sonic is dead because he should be. But then Sonic uses the power of the fake emerald because it had a little bit of actual Chaos Emerald power in it to Chaos Control. So Sonic can Chaos Control too now. That's pretty cool. But Shadow is then sent to intercept him. But then Shadow and him have a fight. Anyway, Amy gets on her hands and knees, begs Shadows for help, and then Shadow's like, maybe this is not what Miri meant. Maybe she didn't mean destroying the entire fucking Earth. Anyway, before Shadow, there was a creature called the Bio Lizard, which was the original prototype, original life form. He's just as powerful as Shadow, but like really big, so I guess he's, more fit for world domination. Sonic and Shadow have a little face-off with him, but then he goes to space, and now he's on the space colony arc, and he wants to destroy the Earth. So now, Sonic and Shadow have to go deal with the Bio Lizard in space. Sonic and Shadow use the Chaos Emeralds that Shadow and Sonic have been collecting and use them to go super. They both fly into space and go to take care of the Bio Lizard. After a very awesome climactic boss fight, they do take care of the Bio Lizard by destroying it. After defeating the Bio Lizard, the space colony arc starts plummeting towards the Earth. Sonic and Shadow fly towards it and work together to both use Chaos Control to teleport the entire thing back out of orbit of Earth. But doing so, it depletes all of Shadow's energy, sending him plummeting to Earth. Shadow then accepts his death, and Sonic says goodbye. In fact, everyone does, and they're all very sad about Shadow's death. And that concludes Sonic Adventure 2. Okay, so on to Sonic Heroes. Here's what our timeline looks like so far. It's not bad, it's all in a straight line. It's looking good. So Dr. Eggman sends a letter to Sonic and Tails and Knuckles saying, "Hey, I have a weapon that'll be ready within 3 days, and it will destroy the world. I'll conquer the world with it." And he's challenging them to stop them. Sonic, being a competitive guy, he's like, "Bet, Eggman," and then he fucking goes for it. They battle a few Eggmans, but every time they notice Eggman's able to escape. And also in a few cutscenes, you notice, what's that metal thing that's like, it's fucking Metal Sonic. And then there's Team Dark, which, wait a minute, what? Shadow? Okay, so Shadow is back, but he's supposed to be dead. What? This makes no sense. Well, this turns out to be, a whole bunch of robot shadows created by Eggman. Why? I don't know. Anyway, Team Chaotix also exists, and it introduces... By the way, Team Dark also introduces Omega. So that's cool. But then there's a new team, Team Chaotix, which actually are previous characters from the game, Chaotix. Which, it's not part of the storyline, but, they have existed before. So, they're not too new. But, they're new in this timeline, so boom. Chaotix are now part of the Sonic timeline. Okay, so Team Chaotix finds Dr. Eggman in prison. And then they break him out, and they're like, "Hey, Doc, what's with the big idea? Who locked you up for trying to conquer the world? This is your ship. How did you get in there?" But Eggman doesn't want to say. But eventually, all of the teams are there, all 4 of them. And then, Neo Metal Sonic declaring himself the ruler of all living things. Ho ho ho! It's Neo Metal Sonic. We've been building up to this the whole thing. Anyway, he turns into his ultimate form, Metal Madness. He's called Unstoppable without the Chaos Emeralds, but the teams reveal that, oh, we all have the Chaos Emeralds together, guys. And then, they're like, "Oh, we could use this," but Sonic's like, "No, I'll use it." Okay, but I could use it too, says Shadow. No, it's fine. You could, but I've been using it the longest, so I know how to. But Sonic, can we join? Oh, fucking god, my fucking god. Yes, fine. So anyway, they all fly, and they up into the air, except Knuckles, Hyper Knuckles and Super Tails are gone. R.I.P. And then they just kind of they just do that. Anyway, all the shadows turn out to be robot shadows. They're not the actual Shadow. So, sorry about that. Okay, so Shadow the Hedgehog. This game takes place right after Sonic Heroes, and it just says, hey, Shadow's alive, and he goes on and tries to understand its past, and there's 2 different endings, and honestly, I don't know if either of them are even canon, but it just shows that Shadow's still alive. So yeah, basically, he's like, there's aliens, there's also the government, you can either work for either one of them. So yeah, it's really strange. Anyway, so it turns out the alien wants to destroy the planet, but then Shadow's friends are like, oh, so yeah, Shadow is like, nope, I'm good on that, and goodbye. So he just doesn't listen to him, and that's about it. Okay, and here's our first alternate timeline. Okay, so there's a royal family, there's Elise, she's the princess, right? Okay, cool, she's doing a ceremony, and there's some shit about the flames of disaster, and Eggman wants to attain the secrets of it, so he tries to kidnap her. But then Sonic shows up. Ho ho, it's me, Sonic, yes, he destroys the robots, and he saves Elise. And so that's pretty cool. But on his way by, Sonic sees a white furred hedgehog named Silver. Now Silver's a new character. And why is he here? Well, he's here to find the Iblis Trigger. Now what is that? Okay, so Silver's in the future with his friend Blaze. Blaze is really cool, Silver's really cool. Awesome. Now Blaze isn't originally from Sonic 06. She's from Sonic Rush, from an alternate dimension. But right now, again, this is a reboot. They can do whatever the fuck they want with the characters. God forbid. Okay, so Silver meets with this really funny-looking guy named Methylis. And Methylis is like, hello, but did you know that the bad guy is this blue hedgehog? He is the trigger for Iblis. And Silver's like, whoa, I guess I have to stop him. So he goes back in time, I guess, to stop Sonic with Blaze. And so he's like, so he thinks Sonic, so it's like Knuckles from Sonic 3 again. Anyway, so he does that, but that's not important right now because Sonic just saved Elise, but she got captured again. Anyway, so then he goes to save her again, and then he does. So eventually, Sonic is with Elise. He gets attacked by Silver, who claims, you know, Sonic will destroy the world. Sonic eventually loses because Silver can do this. And then guess what? Eggman fucking kidnaps Elise again. Anyway, they do a few things, but eventually they reach Eggman's thing. But then Eggman, ho ho ho, he has a thing that transports somewhere, and boom, they're in the future where Silver comes from. Where Shadow and Rouge also are, because this happened to them. Anyway, they've had a few run-in with Methylis. Methylis is like something like Shadow's Shadow or something. It's really hard. I'm trying to get through this section fast. I hate Sonic 06. So eventually, Sonic and Shadow get Chaos Emeralds and use them to travel through time. Okay, sure. Let's pretend they can do that suddenly. Sure. They travel through time and they go back in time. And Sonic goes back for Elise, but is once again attacked by Silver, allowing Eggman to kidnap Elise yet again. But don't worry. Fortunately, Shadow arrives, and he's like, Silver, what's up? And then, well, he isn't exactly like Silver, what's up? He's more like,
Chaos control!
anyway, this allows Sonic to rescue Elise after she was just captured. And he returns her to the castle. Cool. Awesome. Oh, but then so Eggman shows up in a battleship and threatens to destroy her like whole city, and so Elise willingly gets captured again. Anyway, Eggman's like, in order for my plan to work, I need the 7 Chaos Emeralds and the dormant power of the Flames of Disaster that are within Elise to awaken Solaris. So that's cool. Anyway, Sonic's on his way to rescue Elise again, and then he runs into Silver, and instead of attacking him, he is like, they express concern, and they work together. Good for them. Anyway, But, you know, before they can reach the battleship that has Elise on it, it malfunctions, crashes, and explodes. But then Sonic realizes that this is fucking Majora's Mask. So they use the Chaos Emeralds to go back to the previous day. And before Eggman's battleship launches, Sonic travels to the past, and he reunites with Elise, and defeats Eggman one last time. Anyway, Sonic escapes the exploding battleship, rescuing Elise from being kidnapped for the final time. Anyway, let's go through Shadow's episode. So, you know, in the heat of the battle, Rouge has this thing called the Scepter of Darkness, and then it gets shattered, and it frees Mephiles. He gets resurrected in the likeness of Shadow through his shade. Anyway, his name is Mephiles the Dark. Wow. The edge. That's sharp. Anyway, he uses a time warp and, like, fucking throws him to the future. But whatever. Anyway, this is that's how they get to the future. They meet up with Sonic, and then they go to the present. Anyway, Shadow finds out that Eggman, well, comes together with the idea that Eggman is searching for Mephiles, and he asks the doctor. Anyway, Eggman tells him that to understand why he wants Mephiles, Shadow must know about the accident that happened 10 years ago, the Solaris Project. Anyway, Shadow finds Sonic, who's under attack by Silver, and Shadow rescues Sonic. Then they use a time warp to travel 10 years ago to the past, to the Solaris Project, where they witness its failure, and watching as Iblis and the original Mephiles emerge. And that makes Silver realize Mephiles is a liar. Anyway, Shadow learns what the Scepter of Darkness has made so they can seal Mephiles away again. Cool. Awesome. With the help of Silver, Elise's dad seals Iblis within his daughter. And, you know, as long as, you know, nothing bad happens to Elise or, like, you know, someone doesn't awaken it or something, that's fine. It's like, whatever. Yeah, they're good. They're chill. Anyway, there's Silver's story. But I've basically explained it through Sonic and Shadows because it's so, like, interconnected. Alright, last episode. Here we go. Okay, Mephiles comes back and he looks more evil than ever. Oh my god, look at that. And, he seems prepared to merge with Iblis, which should destroy the world. So, you know, he uses his purple emerald. He shows up, and he kills Sonic. Sonic had the ops pull up on him. Anyway, Sonic is dead. Yeah, he actually just dies here. This is like a canonic death. He just fucking dies. Great. Anyway, everyone gets teleported through this rift thing. Well, to the rift, where all the previous levels in the game exist, or something. I don't fucking know. Anyway, Eggman is like, oh my god, Solaris, but they're bringing the end of the world by destroying time itself. Thank god, I'm sick of the time travel. Anyway, with Sonic still dead, they like place him around the Chaos Emeralds, because apparently he may not be entirely dead yet. Whatever. Anyway, Silver is like, Chaos Emeralds, and then Elise. They get the Chaos Emerald, Sonic starts floating. And Elise is like, maybe it's not enough, and she walks over and gives him a good old smooch on the lips. Yep. And then voila, Sonic is brought back to life as Super Sonic. Let's go, woohoo, yay. Anyway, Sonic, Shadow, and Silver all turn super. Cool, look at our three boys. They defeat Solaris. Thank god. It eventually turns back to its original state, which is a tiny flame. And Sonic, now that he's back to normal, he travels with Elise to a point in the past where they go see the Flame of Hope and, you know, and its birth, whatever. Anyway, Elise realizes, you know, hey, if I put out the flame, Solaris will never exist. But the whole problem is that Sonic and Elise will never meet, thank god. Anyway, Sonic eventually convinces her to do it, and she puts out the flame. Anyway, it goes back to the Festival of the Sun, except Eggman doesn't attack. In fact, none of the game's events ever even happen. Basically, the game erased itself from the Sonic timeline by itself. It does the job for itself. They didn't need to, like, retcon it or anything. It does it by itself. They knew what they were doing. Okay, using my super high-tech, you know, timeline device, I'm going to just connect things here. So here's Sonic Rush. Originally thought to not be a part of the original timeline, but it does add some things to the timeline. I don't know if it actually happens, so here's what we're gonna do. Sonic Rush adds Blaze to the Sonic universe, which is included through Sonic 06. Great. And now here's what's going on. Here we go. Align to the next game. No spoilers yet. Sonic 06 did not happen. It is separate from this entire timeline. But it does add Silver and Blaze to the actual main Sonic game timeline. So the game itself is not part of the timeline, but these two characters do get added into the timeline. You know, because like the events in the game didn't happen, but these characters still exist in the universe. But this is just the game that introduced them into the universe. Therefore, they stay within the universe. If that makes sense. So they're part of the story now. Great, awesome. All right, so Sonic Unleashed. You know, I love this game so much. I don't even gotta have a wiki or anything open. I can say the whole story. So Sonic infiltrates some space station that Eggman has, and he's like, "What's up?" He goes super, bam, 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 bam. Eggman starts pleading for his life. Sonic's like, all right, let's chill. But then that's part of Eggman's plan, his evil plot. Boom, Sonic gets zapped. Uh-oh, Chaos Emerald's taken out. With the power he absorbed from the Chaos Emeralds, Eggman then uses the Chaos Emeralds to shoot a laser at the fucking planet. That's right, baby. In Sonic Adventure 2, he missed, but he don't misses this time. He fucking shoots the planet, and it, like, puts a giant crack in the Earth. And this laser destroys the Earth. Every piece of Earth has been separated from the core and is now just out, like, drifting above the Earth. And so, you know, Sonic's got to figure that out. These powers from Dark Gaia start fucking shooting everywhere, and so, you know, that's bad, and you know that's the big problem in the game. And so Sonic is like, oh, but then he starts turning into a werewolf, and so yeah, that's the whole like gimmick of the game. But this is where it's a little weird. The Chaos Emeralds lose their power. Eggman takes them away. Anyway, Eggman casts him to the ground with the useless Chaos Emeralds because he just absorbed all their power. And Sonic gets found by Chip, who is a guy who's just chilling. It turns out he's like, oh, what's up? And he's lost his memory. So Sonic and Chip are like, okay, what's going on here? And Sonic discovers that at night he turns into the Hedgehog, and during the day he's just Sonic. Okay, cool, whatever. Anyway, talking about Sonic Unleashed, you're probably thinking, this game shows the moon a lot. But you're probably thinking back to Sonic Adventure 2. Didn't the moon blow up? Oh, you clearly have no idea what you're talking about, my friend. So the explanation for this is, and this is from Sonic Team themselves, is the moon's just turned around now. You're looking at the other side of the moon now, so like it can be whole again. So like the half that's missing, it just doesn't face the Earth anymore. Yeah. But it's still canon. The moon exploding, that is still present in the rest of the games on out. The moon's just facing the other way now. So, you know, it's chill. It's cool now. Following Eggman around, Sonic and Chip figure out that there's these little temples he's been trying to take over. They figure out they're temples of Gaia and that they can use them to restore the Chaos Emeralds. And with each Chaos Emerald restored in a certain area of the Earth, a piece of the Earth also gets restored. And so that's what they gotta do. They gotta bring the Chaos Emeralds to restore them and restore the Earth. They go and do that. Eggman's there a few times. He tries to stop them. Chip gets his memory back one at a time. But here's Eggman's plan. Eggman wants to release Dark Gaia, an almighty dark beast that will just like, destroy the fucking world, essentially. Okay, so eventually Sonic and Chip both, you know, they figure it out. They go to the Chaos Emeralds. They're good. Also, Professor Pickles, by the way, he just helps them figure what the fuck's going on and what Dark Gaia is. Anyway, but it's too late. By the time they get to where Eggman is, Dark Gaia is released. The entire Earth gets engulfed in shadows and clouds. Very bad, very not awesome. Chip also at that moment just realizes that his true identity is Light Gaia. So, you know, he's got to counter Dark Gaia. So Sonic uses the power of Super Sonic to fight off Dark Gaia. So, you know, you get a nice climactic fight. The game ends with Sonic being not super anymore because he's had the absolute shit beating out of him. And so Chip with the last of his strength, throws Sonic out of the hole in the earth back to where he originally landed and he met Chip, with just a bracelet to remind him that it still happened. Alright, our timeline's been getting a little long, so I had to extend it down. As you can see, there's a line connected to them. You can rate it. We're all good. Anyway, Sonic 4. So Sonic, we'll just do episode 1 and 2. They have really slow plots. Let's fucking get through it. So Sonic parts away with Tails. He's like, I want to go explore things on my own. So he does. And then the usual, it's basically just a really bad remake of Sonic 1 and 2 and 3. Sonic Episode 2 comes around, a couple more original levels, some okay music. And then, same, Sonic and Tails are there, except Metal Sonic's like, and then the same thing, it ends the same way. That's Sonic 4. Sonic Colors, okay, this one's a little fun. So, Dr. Eggman, pretending he feels so bad for his misdeeds, he opens his amusement park, which is kinda cool, and Sonic and Tails go to visit it. Of course, they're a little skeptical, and they're like, whatever. But they get there, and Sonic goes through it, and they kinda realize, now the aliens are called Wisps. They're important, because they'll come back game after game after game. You know, they go through things, they destroy things, corny jokes, blah blah blah. Free some aliens, and yeah, they keep freeing aliens at each planet until each planet is free, because all the planets are chained on this big fucking thing with chains, but they're like not real chains, they're like phantom chains that can like fade away, but they do keep the planets in place. Anyway, they release all the planets and then go to the core of the amusement park. As Sonic goes to confront Dr. Eggman, the amusement park starts exploding. Sonic then sails down on a monorail, which is the one they got up on. But Sonic stays behind to confront Eggman, who's now harvesting the power of all the Wisps to, defeat Sonic. Anyway, Sonic defeats him, but the amusement park explodes. There's nothing left. But the Wisps bring Sonic back down to the ground and leave him be on Morbius. I just said I said Morbius. The fucking planet's called Mobius. It ends with them all high-fiving, and the Wisps become a staple of the series from here on out. Okay, Sonic Generations. Easy. Sonic Generations is a celebration of Sonic's 20th birthday. It's a game that looks back at all his past and also brings his past along with him. Sonic's having a birthday party. He's having a great time. Everyone's celebrating his birthday. And then suddenly, big fucking monster sucks Sonic in. And he's in this world of white. Except there's a place that looks familiar, but it's all white. And it's, whatever. So when Sonic goes through it, he actually restores color to the world. And then another one shows up. And it's all places from his past that he has to go and bring life back to. But Sonic from Sonic 3 is also there. He gets sucked in there too. So we got Sonic from past and future, later dubbed Modern Sonic and Classic Sonic. First boss battle with the Death Egg Robot. Classic Sonic fights him, and then Dr. Robotnik gets sucked away by the monster. So, what the heck? Then Modern Sonic meets up with Dr. Eggman and the Egg Dragoon, and then he also gets sucked up by the monster. Anyway, Chaos Emeralds later, they come to a great finale where they face the Time Eater. But, the Time Eater turns out to be none other than controlled by Dr. Eggman and Dr. Robotnik together. Now, they explain that after Dr. Eggman got trapped in space after Sonic Colors finale, he came across this creature, which is the Time Eater, and he took control of it to do what he did here. And they beat him, and they go back to Sonic's birthday. The Classic Sonic's there for a minute, and they have a really nice conversation, and then he leaves. And also, Dr. Eggman and Dr. Robotnik get trapped in a white void, and they have to figure out a way to get out of there. Sonic Lost World. A game that's not that bad, but I'd still say it's one of the black sheep of the Sonic franchise. Anyway, Sonic and Tails are chasing after Dr. Eggman. And they're just going after it. How did he get out of the white void? Anyway, Sonic's like, drop the capsule, Eggman! And he's like, okay. And he drops it. Sonic's like, what the fuck? Anyway, Sonic does not hit the capsule. And he jumps off, tries to catch it, misses. They have to make an emergency landing on a mysterious floating island or continent known as the Lost X. Anyway, they find out there's more animals there, and they go out and try, help out. But then Eggman's actually already been there, and he enslaved the Deadly Six, which is 6 creatures called Zeddies. There's a few of them. Zavok's the leader. Don't even ask me to name the other ones. But anyway, Sonic keeps adventuring through. Eggman activates this thing called the Extract Ender, which will drain the life from Earth so he can take it and use it on the Lost Hex. And, build whatever he wants. The machine does become unstable, and he's forced to shut it down. And, Zavok is like, I want to turn it back on. Eggman is using this thing, which is a conch, and, controls the Deadly Six, but then Sonic kicks it away from him, even though Tails warns him not to, because everyone in this fucking game is an idiot. Anyway, Eggman gets attacked, and he is forced to tag along with Sonic and Tails and just get through the game. Anyway, Sonic keeps going, and just going through it. Zavok eventually turns on the extractor, and that's the whole, thing of the game. So they're trying to stop the extractor in time before it kills everyone on Earth. Eventually they set a trap to try and catch Sonic, but the trap catches Tails, and Sonic gets really upset and says the stupidest line inside of the fucking game.
I'm supposed to be the fastest, but I was too slow to save my buddy.
Anyway, they take Tails and they turn him into a cyborg. But then Tails does not get turned into a cyborg because he stopped them, and so there is not even a point in that plot point at all. Anyway, when Sonic, Eggman, and his 2 little guys enter Lava Mountain, they're attacked and the bridge collapses. Orbo and Cubot then fall to the lava, and Eggman grabs onto the remaining piece of the bridge. Sonic offers his hand, and then Eggman tosses Sonic onto the solid ground and sacrifices himself, saving Sonic, falling to his death into the lava. Anyway, Amy calls him, and she's like, and then she dies. Well, looks like she dies, and it makes Sonic go, what? So he's more into this. Anyway, Sonic and Tails eventually beat the Zeddies, and they go to turn off the extractor. But, it's already been turned off. Weird, I wonder who did that. Oh, it's Eggman, he didn't die. He actually used a jetpack that you couldn't see before. He also saved the other jet, but he faked his death so, he could separate, use the energy, and make his giant mech. Anyway, they end up defeating Eggman, and he falls off a cliff. And then Sonic returns to Amy and Knuckles, takes a nap. There's also a post-credit scene where it's revealed Eggman survived his fall, which, of course, why would they kill off Eggman? And in classic Sonic fashion, Sonic Mania, the best Sonic game of all time, is not even part of the main timeline. Okay, so Sonic Mania takes place in an alternate universe. So you play through a whole bunch of levels, some from past, some from the past, some new ones. But it's all being controlled by this thing called the Phantom Ruby. Now, the Phantom Ruby has the ability to makes you teleport through dimensions, but also time. It's a space-time thing, or whatever. Anyway, they get transferred to Green Hill Zone, blah blah blah. They go through it. Sonic collects Chaos Emeralds, and then there's the Heavy King and there's Eggman, because the egg robots that extract the Phantom Ruby get turned into the hard-boiled heavies, and then there's this whole ongoing battle against them. You fight against them back and forth. But the final battle is the Phantom King and Dr. Eggman having a battle. And then you're just in the middle of their battle. And eventually Sonic gets the Phantom Ruby. There are multiple endings to different characters, kind of. But the good ending, which is the canon ending, is Sonic gets taken through the Phantom Ruby, through a little portal that then sends him into the main timeline. But he does get sent back at the end of Forces. Okay, Sonic Forces. Okay, so Tails is like, Sonic, hey, shit's going down. Gotta get down here. So Sonic does. Also, there's no humans. They're in Mobius, part where there's not humans, I guess. I have no idea. Anyway, Sonic shows up, and Eggman's like, oh, I'm gonna stop you, Sonic. But then suddenly, uh-oh, what's this? Shadow, Metal Sonic, Zavok, and Chaos are here. That's a little weird. And they all beat the fucking shit out of Sonic, and he dies. or so people think. No, Eggman takes over the world, captures Sonic, and keeps him in prison. Now, over the time of him being in prison, a resistance forms, because, you know, they don't want Eggman to take over the world, I guess. Anyway, everyone's like, oh no, what are we gonna do? Knuckles hatches a plan, Silver's there, hi Silver, and then boom, they found a new recruit. That's you, that's your original character. Anyway, Tails sad there's no Sonic. He goes out to, you know, do something, but then uh-oh, Chaos shows up, and then boom, outside of the Phantom Ruby portal, classic Sonic, but not the classic Sonic. Someone from Sonic Mania. They make that abundantly clear. They are not the same. Sonic Mania is in a different universe. Now, you go on a rescue mission to save Sonic. Okay, you did it. Good. Now Sonic's leaving. Okay, he left. Well, now Sonic's part of the Resistance, and you guys are just kind of like beating up Eggman. Cool. Anyway, they push back the Resistance a lot. Episode Shadow also exists, which explains Infinite's backstory. By the way, Infinite is the main villain with Eggman. He's a jackal. He was chilling, and then he got his shit kicked in by Shadow, and he got really upset about it, became edgy, and then got these powers through the Phantom Ruby because he was edgy. And then now he's really powerful, and he's the reason Eggman's winning. Anyway, eventually Sonic kicks the shit out of Infinite after he kicks the shit out of other people a few times. And Infinite's like, fuck this, and leaves, because he's mad, I guess. He got a little mad, threw a temper tantrum, and got told to go to his room, so he fucked off. Sonic, classic Sonic, and the Rookie go up and stop Eggman's new machine through the power of teamwork, and they fucking seal that bitch up, and boom. And just like that, we're done. That's the end of my timeline. I mean, it comes next. Here's the full timeline, by the way. What comes next after Forces is Frontiers, which by the time this video is coming out, it is gonna be a little while, a bit after Frontiers comes out. But all of everything before this was recorded when Frontiers was like still like a week away from coming out. So I didn't film anything. And I could film some now and explain the story now and have the video fully complete, but fuck you, go play the game for yourself. I want to thank everyone who's been showing support and love for my new video that came out about the worst Sonic game. That video blew up out of proportion, and I'm very happy because I actually did work pretty hard on it. And same with this one. This is honestly probably like the closest gap between two of my videos that will ever be. They're usually like months apart. And I'm going to be working on another video soon. I might make a video about Frontiers. We'll see. Also, I'm going to be picking up streaming soon. Probably sometime this week this video comes out. I might be streaming. So, you know, go follow my Twitch, I guess. I don't really know what else to say. Also, feel free to follow me on my social medias on Instagram and Twitter. Because soon I will be streaming Sonic 06, my first ever playthrough of Sonic 06 on original hardware. I've never played the game before, I've just like looked into it a lot. So it's gonna be my first playthrough, and I'm gonna stream through all of it if I can. And yeah, I hope that you will watch that. And if you wanna see updates on that or when it's happening, follow me on Instagram because I don't post on Twitter too often. Yeah, that's about it. That was my little crash course of Sonic the Hedgehog story. By the way, if you find any games that you think are canon that I didn't include, then feel free to comment about it. I won't read them, and I won't agree. This is my YouTube channel. Go fuck yourself.